Hello and welcome to the third episode of the Obscure News Podcast. I'm back from a short YouTube break I took. I spent some time getting into the YouTube Shorts game, so hello to the handful of you who have found me through there, along with the Reddit OGs, of course. And we're going to start with this story. Naked cyclist arrested on charity bike ride calls for more education on naturism. Now, this actually taught me something. By the way, these stories are a little bit old, but I figured it doesn't really matter. None of them are time sensitive. So, a naked cyclist was arrested during a charity bicycle ride and has called for more education around naturism. Stuart Gilmore, who calls himself the Naked Cyclist on social media, told Sky News he was detained somewhere in North Wales on Sunday. 44-year-old said he had cycled along the North Wales coast where he was visiting for a naturist beach day to raise money for the mental health charity Mind. He was about to turn around and head back some 15 miles away. He was stopped by police. He told them he's a naturist. He said he's doing it for charity. So he ends up getting arrested anyway, but it turns out it's actually perfectly legal to be naked as long as you're not disturbing the peace. As he says here, I wasn't doing anything illegal. And you can see him in all of his glory there. He added, once they understood who I was and they looked through social media and checked the CCTV footage, they came to the decision I wasn't doing anything illegal. He says he feels more comfortable without any clothes on, and most people do not understand that naturists lead a non-sexual lifestyle. And talks about the law itself here. Under the Sexual Offenses Act of 2003, being naked in public is permissible, if not done intentionally to cause harm, to cause harassment, alarm, or distress. So, if you feel like letting it all hang loose, just know you're not technically doing anything wrong. Hey, I'm all for it. Yoga class meditation exercise confused for ritual mass murder scene. As you can see, all these people are laying side by side. Someone thought that they had been killed, although it would be kind of strange, was my first thought, that they were all lined up so perfectly, like didn't figure something strange was going on there. Also, the yoga mats didn't tip you off to anything. Police descended on a community space in Britain when some local dog walkers mistook a yoga class group meditation exercise for the results of a ritual mass murder. Okay, so what he's thinking is it's some kind of cult type of thing, so that's why they're all laying down in this way. The Seascape Cafe at the North Sea Observatory in Chapel St. Leonard's, England, detailed the unusual incident in a Facebook post. If anyone heard the mass of police sirens in Chapel St. Leonard's at 9:30 p.m. last night, then please be reassured, the post said. They were on their way to the observatory after someone had reported a mass killing in our building, having seen several people laying on the floor, which actually turned out to be the yoga class and meditation. And says, Dear General Public, please be mindful that the observatory has lots of yoga classes happening in the evenings. Laws said the class had already dispersed by the time police arrived at the building. She said she learned about the police visit in a phone call from the building manager. I was very shocked. It was so surreal and I didn't quite believe it was true. I've spoken to most of the people who took part and they have just said how mad it was. I mean, there is a lot of, not cult activity, but there are a lot of mass shootings, so I could understand someone thinking that was what happened, I guess. But you just have to be a little more observant. I mean, I would probably check it out a little more before I just went and made a phone call to the police. Now, this is probably my favorite story of the day. It's, in fact, a Florida man story because he is an endless well of content for us. He was rescued again while attempting to cross Atlantic in floating hamster wheel that he designed himself to get himself across the ocean. The peace activist faces felony charges after allegedly refusing the Coast Guard's plea for him to disembark and threatening to harm himself with a knife and a fake bomb. I mean, can we not just let this guy be? Do we have to dedicate resources to trying to deal with him? A Florida ultra marathoner and peace activist is facing felony charges after allegedly attempting to run across the Atlantic-made hamster wheel. How did he cook up this idea? His intercoastal stunt ended approximately 60 miles off the coast of South Carolina last week, after the U.S. Coast Guard said they spotted him floating in the circular cage, initially near Savannah, Georgia, during routine preparations ahead of Hurricane Idalia. The 51-year-old said he was heading for London, England. He really thinks he's going to get all the way there, huh? But he was repeatedly told that his vessel was unsafe and should not be in use. It's described as staying afloat through wiring and buoys. Hey, you know what? He's kind of an idiot savant here. As much as he has this wacky idea, he was pulling it off. Although, like I said, I don't think he was actually going to be able to get that far. He allegedly refused to leave his vessel, which authorities described as a hydropod, and he threatened to stab himself if anyone tried to stop him. I mean, why try to stop him? He's done this before, so this is multiple times they've had to deal with this guy. Like, let him do his thing, and he won't be a problem anymore. Because he's probably inevitably going to die. He ultimately surrendered near Georgetown, South Carolina on August 29th, and he was brought to a Miami federal court where he was charged with obstruction of boarding and violation of the captain of the port order. I mean, why bother him? Montenegrins vie for the record in lying down contest. Hopefully it can load up the picture here. You can see what's going on. 7 competitors lying down on mats are vying for the coveted title of laziest citizen after smashing the previous record in a satirical contest held annually in a holiday resort in northern Montenegro. I mean, I actually feel, as much as it sounds like this would be easy, I feel like my legs would just not want to lay down after a while. Like, I really like to pace around. I can't stay in the same spot for too long. The lying down record of 117 hours was set at last year's contest in the resort village of Bresna. But as this year's competition entered a 20th day on Thursday, the remaining contestants said they were determined to keep going. Is there some kind of prize, like money-wise, other than just the lazy citizen title? Okay, here you go. Here are some of the participants you can finally see. I feel like I would just be in pain. Like, what if your legs, I'm sure they fall asleep. All of us feel good, excellent, and there are no health problems. They are pampering us. All we have to do is remain lying down. Okay, so that does help that they have like workers on the standby in case you have any issues, I guess. The contest was launched in the tiny something country 12 years ago to mock a popular myth that labels Montenegrins as lazy. The organizer and owner of the resort said. She said the 7 remaining contestants from a starting field of 21 had been lying down 463 hours so far. They are really committed. Okay. Suspected drunk driver accidentally called 911 on himself. The man called 911 to report another driver who he thought was driving on the wrong side of the road. And I've read the story already, so I know he goes on to realize he was the one driving on the wrong side of the road. When authorities arrived, it became clear the caller himself was the one driving on the wrong side of the road and was intoxicated. I'm on Highway 77 going north, and there's somebody on the wrong side of the road. I mean, imagine the feeling that you called the police on yourself. You probably would have gotten away with it otherwise. That was gnarly, he said. That was like a lot. The video then shows the unidentified driver being pulled over by a police officer. Do you know why I stopped you? Asked the officer. Yeah, because I was on the wrong side of the road, the driver admitted. Yeah, sort of nothing you could do at that point. Now they're after you. When asked if there was a reason he was driving on the wrong side, he replied, he must have missed an exit. The driver also confirmed he was the same person who had previously called 911. The driver had blood alcohol content over twice the legal limit, according to the sheriff's office. I mean, that's what it's going to take for you to drive on the wrong side of the road, typically. Apparently there's a lot of these in Connecticut, where I live. I always see commercials telling people not to do this. I don't know why it's a particular phenomenon here. It seems random. Okay, and this is my other favorite story of the day. We have an update on our beloved friend of the podcast, Toko the dog. Human collie speaks. I want to meet other dogs and be in movies, so he set goals for himself. You know, I gotta say, I'm rooting for Toko at this point. I want him to have as much success in life as possible. Look, this is a picture of him holding the New York Post. Just weeks after taking his first public walk on all fours, the Japanese man dog, now known around the world as the human collie, thanks to his extreme commitment to cosplay, has granted an exclusive interview to the Post. The very good boy who answered to Toko achieved internet notoriety after spending a whopping $14,000 on a custom-made collie costume he wears in public to help him realize his dream of becoming an animal, and posted the results on his YouTube channel. I feel like I gotta link you to Toko's YouTube channel, because who doesn't want to see that? I think we're all going to become subscribers of his. Now, the human canine, well, that's an unfortunate choice of wording, has chosen to reveal the secrets behind his unconventional life. The reason I chose a collie dog breed specifically is primarily because I like raising them. Ironically, my dog is barking outside. Dish the doppelganger, who has owned multiple pups in the past. He added, secondly, because if it wasn't a naturally large-sized breed, it wouldn't look unnaturally disproportionate when worn by someone as a costume. Now, he really thought this out. Toko added that the collie's long fur helps camouflage the human form discreetly. I mean, at a passing glance, you might buy that this was a dog if you didn't really look into it too closely. Anyways, and it gets to his goals here. And after achieving his doggy dream, Toko now has another wish, to become a movie star. I think it would be great if I were able to use my skills and get the opportunity to appear as a dog in a movie. I don't know what people would say about that, honestly. I think Toko, he might get made fun of, which we wouldn't want, because we love him here. Anyways, I will be back with the return of a certain generator. I felt like that series had sort of run its course, but I've taken a little break from YouTube, as I said, so I think it has some fresh life in it. Chatroom Surfer logging out.